humbles herself even more.
Se postra y se humilla aún más.
Lord, help me.
Señor, socórreme.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to ask somebody for help?
¿Has estado en una situación donde has tenido que pedir ayuda a alguien?
Think of the last time that there was nobody around. Maybe it was a flat tire.
Tal vez en una llanta ponchada.
Or you need something fixed around the house.
Algo que tenías que arreglar en tu casa.
Help moving.
Ayudar a mudarte.
Maybe you were in a public place and you had to appeal to a complete stranger.
O en un lugar público y tenías que pedir ayuda a un extraño.
How many of you have been in a situation where you have had to ask somebody for help?
¿Cuántas han estado en una situación así?
Isn't that a terrible feeling?
Es un sentimiento horrible.
Where you are dependent on somebody else?
Que tienes que depender de alguien más.
I try to avoid situations like that.
Trato de evitar situaciones así.
I think I go to great expense to avoid situations like that.
Hago más de lo debido para evitar esa situación.
I think a lot of people go into debt to avoid situations like that.
Muchos se meten en deudas para evitar situaciones así.
So here's this woman. She gets down before him. Again, this is public. Everybody now knows what's going on.
Entonces a esa mujer se viene y pues ya todos saben lo que está pasando.
She even had to get close to the disciples because now they're next to him. So she had to get close and more in the presence of those who are discouraging her.
Y tenía que acercarse aún más hacia los discípulos de los que la estaban desanimando.
That's embarrassing.
Es un poco vergonzoso.
She says, Lord, help me.
Dice ella, Señor, socórreme.
It's interesting. She didn't say, help my daughter.
No, es interesante porque no dice, ayuda a mi hija.
Isn't it? Do you find that interesting?
¿Lo encuentran interesante?
This is a characteristic of a true intercessor.
Esta es una característica de una intercesora verdadera.
A faithful and true intercessor are interceding as if they were carrying the problem in their own body.
Esta es una característica de una verdadera intercesora porque hacen como que ellos mismos tienen ese problema.
It was years ago, a friend of mine, a very young boy, he was 10 years old, and he was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy.
Hace muchos años conocí a un niño que tenía una enfermedad muy grave.
It was not at the point where he was in a wheelchair yet. He was still walking, but very slowly.
Todavía podía caminar, pero estaba...
Muscular dystrophy affects every muscle in your body, even your heart muscle.
Una enfermedad que afecta todo músculo de tu cuerpo, aún el del corazón.
I began to dream about him, and it was as if I was in school just trying to get to the next classroom.
Y empecé yo a soñar con él y así, como que yo estaba en el salón tratando de caminar.
Because for a while, it got to the point where he was walking like this.
Llegó al punto donde caminaba así.
And yet, in my dream, all the other kids are just walking freely back and forth.
En mi sueño, los demás niños caminaban y como si nada.
And he'd have to pull on the door handle so he could make it around and into the classroom.
Tenía que sostenerse de la puerta para poder meterse al salón.
My dreams for him were so real, I felt as if I had the muscular dystrophy.
Los sueños que yo tenía parecían tan reales que se sentía como que yo tenía esa enfermedad.
It gave me an insight into what he was feeling and doing, and it enabled me to more effectively intercede for him.
Me dio una idea de lo que él estaba pasando, porque parecía que estaba pasándome a mí, pues para poder orar por él, interceder por él.
As you are interceding for people, take a moment and take time, it does take time, to actually imagine what